We're your hosts, Kay, Cream, and Hanif. Welcome to a new episode of the Three Hokages podcast. We're going to do a little bit of movies, television, and then swing it back to video games. Today, we're going to discuss The Mandalorian, Grogu. We're going to jump into Supergirl, as well as a few other trailers that we've seen during the Supergirl film. Out of the three of us, only one of us has seen this movie. Kareem, tell us about your thoughts on The Mandalorian and Grogu. Is it worth seeing in the theaters? Should we wait to Disney Plus? Or the high seas. So what's your general take on that film?
Um, so did I enjoy the time spent in the movie theater watching it? Absolutely, I did.
Mm-hmm.
But whether you're a fan of Mandalorian Grogu or not, or you're just a Star Wars fan and you want to check out the movie, um, this is something you could probably wait to see on Disney Plus.
Mm.
And I say that unless you're like a super fan where you just want to see certain things on the big screen, which I can understand. You know, there's certain TV shows you're like, I wish I could see this in the theaters with some other people, random fans, just to have that experience. Then I would say it was worth seeing in the movie theaters or even trying to find it now, for that reason. But to me, it felt like a very long episode of the show.
Mm.
As someone who enjoyed the show, that's not necessarily a bad thing. But I did wonder why they needed to make it a movie, other than trying to actually, just make more money. So that the plot itself was very straightforward. So the Mandalorian and Grogu, they're still obviously a duo, but they're working for the Republic, where they're now hunting down remnants of the Empire to bring them to justice. It starts off as very action packed. You get to be reminded of how strong the Mandalorian is. Grogu still has his little, moments. He doesn't do much, but he has his moments. And so right off the bat, it's just nonstop action. The next bounty is pretty much, he has to save, Jabba the Hutt's kid. Rada the Hutt, that's part of the bounty. And the reason why he has to pretty much do that is because he's working with the Hutts, who's going to give the Republic some big former, empire, general, colonel. It doesn't really matter who this person was. What matters is that they work for the empire. And I know I'm saying that a little bit facetiously, but that's pretty much the way the story comes off, where it's not so much significant in terms of who he is as to why they're doing what they're doing. And so it becomes, pretty interesting where you get to see Jabba the Hutt's son, where you're like, hold up, he's a little buff. He's working out. He's doing his little, gladiator games on another planet. And he's basically trying to make a name for himself. He doesn't want to be known as Jabba the Hutt's kid. He doesn't want to be part of that criminal empire. Like, he's basically someone who came out as a good kid somehow. And he doesn't want to go with the Mandalorian because he's trying to bring him back to the twins, which is basically Jabba's family, and they really just want him to basically kill him so that way they can take over the empire. So he knows that. The Mandalorian doesn't know that. So that's pretty much what it amounts to. He's trying to free Rada the Hutt. Rada the Hutt doesn't want to be free. The twins want to kill everybody. Grogu is just there, and it's pretty enjoyable. Again, it's nonstop action sequences. You have a little bit of racing. You get to see what the Mandalorian can do, and it's engrossing. Was it necessary? Probably not, but it's still engrossing. I would have to say one of my favorite parts of this movie is seeing how terrifying the Hutts are. If you grew up with the original trilogy, Jabba, he was kind of scary, but everybody did the work for him. He didn't move much, and you can understand it because effects, practical effects, things of that nature. This movie actually makes the Hutts look terrifying. With the way that they move, the way that they fight. They're big, they're quick. Like, that was pretty cool, I have to admit that. So that's one of the things that I did enjoy about the movie. It did have a little bit of twist here and there. There was other bounty hunters, Mandalorian got captured. And I don't want to give away the entire movie, but I would say that it was a good popcorn movie. The plot itself wasn't that deep. It didn't need to be that deep. It didn't really move the characters forward, except for the new characters. So now you have, new characters that are introduced, new dynamics outside of Mandalorian and Grogu, but it didn't move those two characters forward too much. And the reason why I say that is because we've seen some of this in the show. We've seen Grogu develop in the show. We've seen their relationship in the show. So it didn't move them forward. There are some touching moments, but again, it didn't move them forward. So is it absolutely necessary to see this in the theaters? No, it's not. If you enjoyed the show on Disney Plus, is this a new addition to the show that's enjoyable? Absolutely. But again, it didn't add anything where I felt it was absolutely necessary to have a movie for the Mandalorian and Grogu. Other than, cool ships, cool moments, but it was fun. I don't regret going to see it, which is a big plus in my book nowadays.
Okay. And I know when it came out, I wasn't sure if this was just like a bridge between the next season, but it looks like they already canceled season 4 for Mandalorian and went more. They basically were going towards a theatrical version. Like, according to the internet, anyway, they said that Favreau had already had a season 4 worth of scripts already done. They scrapped that to do the theatrical film because they said I think the scripts relied too much on being interconnected with Ahsoka and the other Star Wars projects. But I don't see that as a bad thing. I'm hoping that doesn't mean they're going to cut short the Ahsoka series. But yeah, I mentioned Jabba the Hutt and Jabba the Hutt's son. This isn't the Mandalorian in the timeline wise. Doesn't this take place after Return of the Jedi? This is like after the fall of the Empire.
Yeah.
So he's not. He knows his dad is dead. It's not like he's.
Oh yeah, he knows his dad. So this is pretty much a fight to be the heir to the throne. He's the true heir. The twins going to get rid of him because he's what's standing in their way, so to speak. But
so what about
they want to save their family member who is being held captive and being forced to fight.
So this has nothing to do with like the Book of Boba, where like Boba Fett took over Hutt's palace. No, that's irrelevant thing.
It is. Could you find certain connections that's possible between the two? In your own mind, if you want to, yes. And that's what I mean by the story. It's enjoyable where you don't need to know any backstory to anything that occurred, other than maybe that the Empire has fallen. The Republic is now trying to capture the remnants. Like that's all you really need to know. You didn't even need to really watch the show to be able to jump into the movie, which I find pretty odd. So as someone who watched the show for years, there's still a lot of questions that I have, and it's like, well, what are they going to do with these characters? Like, Grogu is very enjoyable, but he's kind of like I just lost the name of that character from the Gremlins.
Gizmo.
He's kind of being treated like Gizmo now, where he's more of a cute character, and he does have a plot line here where he does certain things, but there's still really no answers about him, and that to me is like, well, where's he going to fit in the bigger scheme of the Star Wars universe along the line?
Apparently they age super slowly, so by the time he's of any age where he can either wield a lightsaber or become a formidable individual, everyone we know should be in the Star Wars world probably should be dead, because I think he's 50 years old now, but he's still pretty much a toddler at best. So I think if in order for us to see him being able to walk on his own like he's Yoda or something, that means unless they hit some kind of weird growth spurt where they all of a sudden mature rapidly, I think we're going to be stuck with having Grogu as a novelty. Where he gets a little force power here and there, or it says something or something cute, and then it's more about having Pedro Pascal's or the Mandalorian's character do the heavy lifting of the show or the episodes, if they ever do decide to go back to episodic iterations of this show. But yeah, so it sounds like it's worth checking out, but no rush to see it in the theater.
No.
Okay. Good to know. I kind of felt like that when I first saw the trailers. Like, okay, this looks cool. It didn't draw me like I got to see this in the theater, but it's like, okay, I can wait to Disney Plus. I know it's going to be there because it's a Disney property. No else is going to have it. I saw Supergirl not about a week ago. The opening weekend, we saw it I thought it was okay. For those who are not familiar with or introduced to Supergirl, she's Superman's cousin. His older cousin. During the fall of Krypton, she's already she's a teenager by that time. She has more of a tie to Krypton. She saw the planet being destroyed in front of her. So her parents dying before she was sent to Earth to be with her cousin. So this movie takes place pretty much after the last most recent Superman movie. Like she's drunk, passed out in her spaceship with Crypto. It's just about the story is about a young woman who's just severely depressed, and rightfully so. But everything she knows and loves was stripped away from her because of the planet being destroyed. And the only person who has ties to that planet was a toddler, Superman, Kal-El, who doesn't know anything about the planet. He doesn't even speak the native tongue, if you will, of Krypton. So she's like basically go from planet to planet in a drunken stupor to try to drink her pain away. So she'll go to planets that have non-yellow suns, so that way she's more like you and I, more mortal. So that way she can actually consume alcohol and feel that buzz and be hungover. It felt like watching a darker version of James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, where that one had more serious tones and stuff. The bad guys seemed like they all had the same kind of wardrobe, like the Ravagers, but these were called the Brigands. So basically, the main story is that she's on this planet, she's half drunk. A girl by the name of Ruthie, her father, and her whole family gets killed by the Brigands. She's the last brigand. She's the last one alive of her family, and she wants someone to get a spaceship so she can go find that person who killed her parents and get vengeance. So Supergirl decides to help, begrudgingly decides to help her find that individual. So they go on the planet, the intergalactic quest to find these brigands. So they go to different planets where she gets affected by the different suns. Yellow sun, she's got superpowers. She's fighting brigands in the bars, knocking them out. She goes to another planet where there's the red sun. She's getting her butt kicked. She goes to a planet that may not have a red or yellow sun, and then some other adverse effects happen. It took a while to get there. There's some nice moments with Lobo showing up, Jason Momoa as Lobo, so that's always great to see. Yes, he's on his space motorcycle kind of thing. I felt Jason Momoa was more comfortable as Lobo than he was as Aquaman. For the few moments we do see him there, his mission is he's a bounty hunter, and he's looking to find one of the brigands. Not the same one, but he's on the same path they are. And so they come across their paths and help each other once in a while. But it was nice seeing him being a badass and blowing stuff up and whatnot. I liked it, but I felt like it needed more. Like I felt like there was something else there that we're only getting a taste of Supergirl's abilities. Like she's still getting her footing on her own. She does interact with her cousin in several moments of the movie, but it still felt like there's got to be more to her that we haven't seen yet. So I felt like this is a nice introduction, but I want to see a little bit more. So I understood that there was a lot of downvotes, or a lot of people didn't like the film, but I feel like that's probably why is that they felt like they wanted to see more of her with her super abilities of being grandiose, kind of like you're seeing Clark having these abilities, in Metropolis being so great, being so super. Whereas you see Supergirl, and she's getting her butt kicked a lot because she's on a planet that has a red sun. But then they take her to a planet that has yellow sun, so now he gets a few minutes of her kicking butt, laser beams, freezing people, that kind of stuff. But I think I would give it probably a 3 out of 5. I think for those who don't really care about Guardians of the Galaxy, probably won't like this. And I only say that because I know James Gunn is head of DC now. Even though he didn't write or direct this, looking at it, you can really see the similarities between the interstellar cosmic role play and Guardians of the Galaxy. But I think it's 3 out of 5. Do you need to see it in the theaters? No. I think you can wait for it on HBO Max, to be honest. But I thought it was good. I don't think it's bad, but I don't think you have to rush and call out from work and go see it in the theaters.
I mean, you could just call out from work and beat the heat.
Yeah, well, it's
No,
hot
go,
outside, so
it's been hot. Go see it in the theater.
theaters. AC in the movie theaters with a slushie. Okay, you got it. Okay, so according to Kim, go see this in the theaters.
Exactly. Best way to beat the heat. You
Yeah.
get what, 2 hours in the theater. You get some food. You get some cool. You get to watch a decent story, from what people say.
And depending upon what theater you go to, maybe you can spend more than 2 hours in the theater.
Yeah.
I mean,
There was one trailer that I liked that I didn't know about until I saw the trailer. It was called End of Oak Street. It stars Ewan McGregor and I forgot the young lady's name. But Ewan McGregor is like a family of four.
Anne Hathaway.
Huh?
Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, Anne Hathaway. Okay, so you probably saw the trailer too. Then.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So Obi-Wan and Catwoman have a family of four. They live in a cul-de-sac, and somehow either the whole cul-de-sac either gets transported through time, or they're on another planet where it's nothing but like dinosaurs and other large animals there that are trying to eat them. So they're trying to, save the block, if you will, not attack the block, but save the block by boarding up the houses, defending themselves from Tyrannosaurus Rexes and pterodactyls and stuff, while trying to figure out how to get home. I thought it was interesting. The trailer looked interesting. Like, okay, I'm aside from Jurassic Park, this looks like a more interesting dinosaur film. Anne Hathaway with a shotgun shooting at T-Rex. It look a little interesting. It's like she shoots at it, then she realizes this shotgun isn't going to kill it, and then it turns towards her. She's like, "Oh shit, let me start running down the block." It looks interesting. I think it comes out. It's definitely a summer movie. I'm not sure when, but it's definitely a summer movie.
August 14th.
Okay, so yeah, it's a summer movie. So I definitely want to check that out. So that's our movies for this episode. So we got two movies that are stream worthy, and then a decent trailer that should go on YouTube and check it out. TV wise, I know I have been neglecting my TV duties. I haven't seen it yet, but I believe Kay and Kareem have both seen Spider Noir on Amazon Prime. Did you both watch it in black and white, or did you do just color only, or how did you view the episodes?
I did it strictly in black and white. The entire, I did not want to, I was tempted to start it in black and white and then flip to color, but I was like, no, let's just stick it the way it is. Mm-hmm. Kareem, how did you watch it?
I watched it in both.
Why?
Because you could switch instantly without losing your place in the episode.
Okay.
And so to me, I think there were some episodes that probably did better in color, and some that definitely would have done better in black and white.
Huh.
So I started in color, and then I moved to black and white. The black and white to me was, I'll put it this way. I was 2 episodes into the show, and I thought, I have no idea what's going to happen, but I hope they renew this show for another season.
Thank you.
It's just the style of it. See, this is something again that to me was lacking in other shows, even certain movies nowadays. The world building, where you existed, you were pulled into this world where you just wanted to stay there or a little bit longer. The styling of it, the accents, the way they talk, the sets. Whether it was black and white, it was like, this is a new world that you're being pulled into, and you enjoy being here. You enjoy seeing the characters. You enjoy the dialogue, which was, obviously adult themed dialogue, but it was enjoyable. It wasn't like the same, lame banter. Like, it was actually enjoyable. The characters were enjoyable, from, the thing with Janet Ruiz to, the Catwoman, to the little kid with that old school accent. It was just so much occurring where it's like, I hope they renew this just so that I can stay in this world a little bit longer.
I agree. I was genuinely surprised about the little boy. I was like, go to school. I was like, how? And this is just a side note thing. I'm like, how long did they work with this kid for him to stay in that act, to do that? Because most adults can't do that. And so for it to have a child stay in that time period, in that frame, It was actually quite interesting. I did not want to see it in color. Like once I started, because I started in black and white. Once I started that, I was like, no, I don't want to see, because I kind of didn't want to see like my mind be changed by stuff, because I'm like, it looked really good in black and white. Now, sure, some scenes where he's like hiding in places like somebody's bedroom. Not gonna say whose bedroom it is, and you're like, okay, maybe if I saw that in color, that might have been more interesting. But I'm just like, but the black and white made it seem like, yeah, he really does disappear, because you're just like, how did I not? Okay, whatever. So, I do hope that there's a second season, but I am slightly saddened by like what happens to one of the characters. I'm like, I would prefer that not to happen, because then that person, I'm not gonna say who, but I'm saying like that person can't come back for the next season now. And I'm just like, but they were so enjoyable. Like, I liked you in that role. You're good.
Does this
Kareem, do you know what I'm talking about? Like,
I think so. I think so.
Okay, like I'm like, I was kind of mad that that's what happened. I was like, we're not really gonna do that, are we? Like, no. They're gonna come back for the second season because they're like a great character for this. No, it's like,
does it tie into the Across the Spider-Verse? Does it like introduce him and like? No, this is just more like an origin story, or just his world. It doesn't really involve Miles Morales or.
No, it doesn't like involve Miles. There is an origin story to it, but it's
a flashback.
It's not the whole I'm young Batman, blah 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 blah. We need to see blah blah blah. We're not rehashing like, and the way it does it, I'm like, finally, someone understands when you're doing a story about somebody, you don't have to do the same. This is my, like, no, I don't care. Mm-hmm. Let me find out how you became who you are, how you got your powers organically.
Yeah. And so this is, he's been Spider-Man for a long time in this. But it's actually a story where, he enjoyed the superhero role. And obviously this is set, during World Wars. It's a little bit after he returns home. So he has these powers. He enjoys being Superman. But it's a tragic background to it, where he meets the love of his life. He's dealing with, the crime boss in the area, who instead of it being Kingpin, is Silvermane. And the love of his life dies. She's killed as a way to, pretty much, that's what Silvermane does. And he feels guilty about it, and he can't recover from it. So he essentially retires as Spider-Man. Silvermane takes over more of the city, and then he starts to work. Spider-Man starts to work his way back into the public eye, willingly or unwillingly. So he's pretty much a rusty superhero at this point in time. So it does focus more on his alternate ego, which is Ben Reilly. But even that has, I won't give away any spoilers. Even that had something to it, where it's like, how they named him Ben Reilly and why.
Right.
There's a reveal later on in the show. So the way it all develops, which is connecting the characters, the supervillains, connecting the backstory, showing how they got their ability. And why
it works well for one person and not necessarily as well for other people, which I thought was like brilliant. So like, it was just really smart working for this to me.
Yeah.
But
you can start the show and you won't expect the story to take the turns it took. And that's one of the things I enjoyed about it, where it has those little moments that, I mentioned earlier on, but it's not what the show focuses on. It's just that deeply entrenched into the setting of the show that you just notice these things while enjoying the show. So the kid, he has a minor role. He appears here and there. So it's not like you want a whole episode about the kid. You don't.
No, you don't. You just like the fact that he's just like,
one of those attention to detail moments where you're like, the more attention you pay to the details, the more you enjoy what they're showing you. And this is why I like to switching back and forth anytime you want to, because like Kay said, certain things you want to see in black and white, certain things it adds that element. It's like, Dick Tracy type
Yeah.
Spider-Man meets New York that no longer exists, but it's all there. It's all there. So to me, this was a very unique, relatively unique show. I enjoyed visiting the world. I even rewatched a couple of the episodes from color to black and white to see it's that enjoyable in my mind.
Okay.
Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I will go back and rewatch it in color to see how I feel differently. But yeah. Also, I like the. Okay, this is gonna sound weird. So some of the actors I was shocked about. So like Ogden Faber, I was like, yo, hold, that's Garrick from DS9, and I was like, wait, we just brought so like him being and everyone. I'm like, aw. Again, I have issues, but also Lucas Haas in it. I was like,
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Like, I know this is a grown man, but like I still see like Lucas Haas from like the movies he did as a kid. Yes, he's older than me, but I'm just like to see him play such a role, because I do not think I've seen him in adult roles where he's played this type of character, like Silvermane, like that type of a bad guy, and I'm just like, wow. I not that I thought he was a bad actor, but I'm just like, wow, you have a lot more
range,
yes, than I thought. It just sounds horrible. But and it was just like I do not think anybody was miscast. I think everyone who we focused on, I think they were like, everybody seemed to be well cast in their role. Lamorne Morris as Robbie
Robertson.
Yeah, like, because again, my thing is mainly from New Girl, but like I'm like, dude, you like, he was great in that role, and I'm just like, but although when he was dealing with the other black guy, the
Tombstone,
yes, to him, when he was dealing with him and he was talking to him like brother, I was like, please, I hope he punched you in your face. Just brother me, sir. Like, thing.
Oh, Tombstone is in this also?
Yeah.
Is that going to be the same Tombstone that's in the Spider-Man Brand New Day?
No.
Because this is literally all 50s. Because this is post World War II, well, that explains a whole lot more. But yeah, like, so this is all like the
post-war.
50s.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's so good. It's so good.
Well,
Megawatt was good, but I really wanted to punch him in the throat. Like, I needed him to shut up. Like, shut up. Yeah. You talk too much.
Yeah.
He's been caught monologuing.
Yes, he was like our monologue king for this show, where you're just like, please shut up.
It's going back to the old school TV shows, and they have to have the monologues or whatever. What was the chemistry like with on-screen chemistry with Lamont and Nicolas Cage? That seemed pretty well. Or?
Yes, they work very well off each other, and there's a scene that happens where I'm just like, oh, he did his thing in this. Sorry, I'm trying not to, but Kareem,
I don't want to spoil any of it.
Right. I think both make me definitely want to watch it. So yeah.
And it's like this was so good that I had to stop myself. I stopped myself. Like, I literally waited, watch one episode a day. Or like, I'm like, okay, let me watch one episode, then I wait 2 days. I'm like, I wanted to finish it, but I'm like, I want to savor each episode. It's this good of a show. And I'm like, please come back for a second season. I mean, you don't have to if you don't want to, but there are still way too many, like,
you don't have to if you don't want to.
Yeah, like, because technically
it ended without like a cliffhanger. Like, you need to see what's going to transpire. Whatever else.
You feel satisfied.
Yeah, you're satisfied with what you saw.
Okay.
You do,
but
want
there's still
more,
questions.
Yes, it doesn't have a tricky ending. It doesn't have we're trying to get people to want a season 2, and I think that's what made it more enjoyable. It has an ending, but it can still have more with the characters going forward. Right. So it was satisfying from beginning to the end.
Right. Yeah, story was told.
We have a complete arc here, and like you can stop at this arc if you want to. You can do a new arc. I mean, I would hope they do a new arc, but it's Amazon, so who knows?
Yeah, they may just end it. Yeah. But upside is that they put it all. It was not like they canceled it mid-season, and like regular TV would do. They're like, we'll just cancel mid-season. You're not gonna get all the episodes. Oh well.
Also, I also have to say, the actress Lee Jun Lee, she Cat Hardy was really good. To the point where there are points where you're just like, I don't like you, lady. You do some stuff in here. I'm like, you're really like, she kills the role. Like I said, there's not a bad, like no one has done a bad job in this at all. She was great. The Janet Ruiz, the actress that played that role, really good. Like you believe everyone in their role. A little too much for some of them. I'm like,
it's a little too much. Okay.
But I would definitely like, out of 5, I'd give this a 4.5. This is like really good for me to like just watch. But again, I'm seeing in black and white. If I see it in color, I might lower my opinion. I'm just kidding.
So I'll start off in black and white, and if I want to watch it again, I'll roll it back through color. Check it out. But it sounds like it's a good series, a show overall. We watched the second season of Avatar on Netflix. Still better than what M. Night Shyamalan put out. I honestly, in watching it, I don't know how we could have realistically expected someone to make a film version of the Avatar series. It would have had to have been multiple episodes. It would end up being like the Blue People Avatar movie. Like you're going to have 5, 6, 7 movies to cover so much content that happens in these from the animated series. If you wanted to go not so much shot for shot, but even paraphrasing or summarizing certain scenes and episodes, it's a lot to do in 90 minutes if you want to do movies wise. So doing an actual TV show probably would have been the best option from live action. This one primarily focuses on their mission to get to Ba Sing Se to warn the king that the Fire Nation is coming. But meanwhile, in Ba Sing Se, there is no war. In Ba Sing Se, Judy and all that stuff. So the palace intrigue and the spies of the Dai Li and everything was great to see. They did, and I had mentioned before we started recording how they definitely pushed a few episodes together. Like the scenes when they're under the desert searching for that hidden library that had the owl. Like they don't do that.
Yeah.
They basically put the hidden library within Ba Sing Se, so they have to find this haunted area that they can then to channel the spirit realm to go into this library. So that whole cactus juice, I'm looking how cactus juice is the quinchius or whatever. They don't do that there, but they somehow
work it in.
They have a moment where they go to a formal gathering to welcome the Kyoshi warriors and the Avatar to Ba Sing Se, and they have cactus juice drinks. And they're like, oh, don't drink that. You don't want to drink cactus juice. You'll get drunk too quickly. And Sokka ends up drinking it anyway, so he still says the line. But this is how they kind of push multiple episodes into one episode. And they do that throughout this season. So it's only 7 episodes. So the plot moves, but not as much. They do a good job of still, which I think one of best character. My best favorite character in the entire series is Toph. So they do a great job introducing Toph. Her fighting the boulder, and the boulder there and everything like that. That's great. Her trying to teach Aang how to earthbend and showing us her ability to earthbend. Using that almost like sonar, like being able to feel the floor, feel the earth, and know where things are. That was great. I think the actress who played Toph did a really good job bringing Toph to life. I don't think I can ever say anything. You'd have to do a lot of stuff wrong to make me say something bad about Toph. I think Toph is probably still going to be between Toph. It's like Toph, Sokka, Momo. Those are
not the Avatar. No, not Aang. We don't really care about Aang.
Aang is cool. He got his little powers. He do little bending and all that other good stuff.
You put Momo above Aang. Like
I thought Momo. He doesn't have to say a lot to hold the scene. That's how great, powerful actor Momo is. He can just capture the scene. He's your version of Chopper without the words. Like you got people who love One Piece. You got Chopper. People love Avatar. You got Appa and Momo. So you got
right.
But it did a real good job translating as much as they could anyway. The animated series to live action. Is I've seen people discuss that certain characters don't look as good or doesn't look like they look inside of the TV show, but I mean that's human nature. Like people have more rounded faces in reality. You're not going to get these angular faces from Azula and whatnot. But I think they did a good job with the cast. The CGI or the special effects of them doing the bending and fighting was really good. I think the only downside is that we know that it's going to take him a while to do another season. And Aang is already taller than what he is inside the TV show. In the cartoon, he's probably, when they're walking, Aang is about the same height as Sokka now. So it's like it's still kind of odd to see, but in reality, he's 17 years old. You can't, hold him in place like they're going to run into the situation with like Stranger Things, where they're going to need to put this final season out as quickly as possible. So that way you're not going to run into an issue where they kind of de-age him or it looks weird, like how they did with Lucas. And they got to shave his mustache and beard, and he's got this weird flat top and all kind of stuff with Stranger Things. But I enjoyed the season more than I enjoyed the first season. I don't want to go too much into the different plots, but you've all seen the series, the animated series, so there's a lot of stuff that happens, with Painted Lady, Uncle Iroh, and Zuko. Them kind of coming together and being a unit as opposed to Zuko regretting his actions and trying to just focus on Avatar. He kind of understands the pain he's caused other people, and now he's like on this redemption arc kind of thing. But his sister, the actress who plays Azula, did a real good job bringing that kind of crazy menace to the live action, because she's not a lady to mess with. She's not a lady to mess with, not for anything.
Aww. Wait, but do they have the cabbages? Does my cabbages say my cabbages?
Oh yes, just like when he was in Omashu, the cabbages. He shows up in Ba Sing Se.
And does it again.
It's like, oh, cabbages. Oh yes, these are the roundest of cabbages. Let's look at the cabbages.
Okay, so long as they didn't cut that out. Like, no, he's there. I get that you have to.
Katara and Judy are shopping for cabbages, so the cabbage man is there, and they run off and it's my cabbages.
Does Toph say twinkle toes?
She tells him. I think she calls him twinkle toes multiple times, and she calls I think she called Sokka snoozles. But yeah, she definitely said she doesn't call them twinkle toes because they didn't know when they're sparring he's like, well, let me see what you got. And they trying to, they do a little sparring, and he keeps jumping in the air, so she can't see him because he's not on the floor. So that's when she called him twinkle toes and stuff like that. Yeah. So again, and then she learns the metal bending. So it's like,
so we see that.
Okay. Again, so it's Toph is still the greatest character in this TV show. Whatever, Aang has to learn four different elements in order to be as good as Toph is, as far as being able to capture my attention. So she's the greatest earthbender.
Wow.
No, she's awesome. Toph is awesome. So I think do yourself do yourself a favor and check it out. It's only 7 episodes. You can knock it out in a weekend.
Okay.
We have I'm trying to think, was there anything else TV wise that we were talking about offline? We did Avatar. We did Spider Noir. Bless you. Avatar. The Avatar. I'm sorry, Xmen.
Yes.
Xmen 97 season 2. There's only 3 episodes out now, but I like it. I mean, it's still giving me I think it hasn't lost any steam from the first season. Only regret is that you got to wait each week for a new episode.
Yeah. That is the fact that they have X-Men, X-Factor, and X-Force in these first 3 seasons, and they pulled it off where it makes sense, like organically, to yeah, like you're right. They haven't lost any steam from last season. The different storylines, the different time periods. It's easy to follow. So it's not like you're like,
Yeah,
wait,
yeah.
what's happening there? It's easy to follow. The characters are still top notch. Um, yeah, this is still one of the best shows out there. Whether it's animation or live action. Again, it's only 3 episodes in, but to me, it's still one of the best shows out there right now.
I liked they gave some nice screen time to Jubilee when she's
Yeah.
breaking them out of the X Forces almost like a helicarrier kind of thing that they had.
Yeah.
But like they showed her using her abilities, and she took out a bunch of guards and stuff. So she did her thing. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything bad about the show. I would have to honestly. I want to go back and watch the original X-Men '97. So when they do the Apocalypse storyline and then compare it to what they were seeing in this one, because I agree with Kareem. Like they split it up so that way one whole episode was focusing on like they get 3900 for the future, where they have Forge and he meets up with young Nathan, Scott Summers, Jean Grey, and Storm, and then like the next episode is them like 3,000 years in the past in ancient Egypt with Magneto, Beast, young, well not young, but I guess slave Apocalypse or Abin Senor or Nor, but basically
Nor.
Yeah. So, but still, it's still creepy that he's so pale. Yeah, he got the black hair and the lips and stuff. I mean, that's how he look. It's supposed to look. I'm not expecting. He was never in the other comics or in the cartoon. Like he wasn't, melanated like us. But it just looks like he's just, reminds me of Kratos. Like he's all white like that. Like he's got his ancestors ashes on him or something. But no, I enjoy it. Again, the only downside I have is that you have to wait another week to see the next episode. I think that's it for TV. I know we wanted to discuss video games. A lot's happened since our last recording. Mainly, Grand Theft Auto pre-orders became available 2 weeks ago. I haven't pre-ordered it yet. I know my son has pre-ordered. I think the was it the Ultimate Edition and the $99 one or $89 one or whatever. But I told him there was no rush to get the pre-order because you're getting it now as opposed to 2 days before it comes out. There's no financial benefit. Like I could see if you buy it now, it's $2 cheaper than a month from now. But if you pre-order now, you get this. But this exclusive, this digital exclusive, is not going to exist 3 months from now in November when, actually no, not even 3 months, 4 months from now when the game actually comes out. I feel like digital. I think this generation of gamers have definitely missed out on the fun or the tangible greatness of being able to pre-order something and then going to a store and picking it up or having it mailed to you. Like, what are you getting? I mean, GTA 4 dropped, and I remember my brother and I was in the Bronx at midnight at a GameStop getting it from the GameStop on a long line. Like you came with the I think it came with dog tags, I think a bag, a map, I think posters and like all this other stuff you can use outside of just being online with it. Whereas now it's like, okay, well, you pre-order so you get a new costume to wear, or you get exclusive salons and tattoo shops and in-game merch. Okay, but it's in-game, and I got to be online to really be to have fun with that. To me, I feel like it's not really worth the pre-order. I'll get it when it comes out. I'll buy the Ultimate Edition the day after it comes out.
It's I would say it's tough to be a gamer now, and I'm not even talking about in terms of the discourse out there on the internet, because to me it's more toxic than it's ever been online. There are certain things that I never even attached to video gaming until I became more online, like when Twitter first came out, and I realized, wait, people really believe some of these things, or is it just a way to get attention? Because I grew up, obviously we all did, where you have the arcades, and you can say in a way that's microtransactions, like you're putting in quarters, but you're actually just trying to continue the game. I also play, video games, hand-me-down video games, pirated video games with my family, or my brother, my sisters. We used to complete games together. So we have some of these core memories of gaming going back a while. There's been times where I've had to miss out on console generation because I just didn't have the money. There were times when I used to just buy used games. Sometimes I would resell games to be able to get new games. And then I was able to, get more into PC gaming again. I even have a story that, one of my sisters would tell where, we went out to Coney Island to get a computer because it was $100, $199, so that I can play Final Fantasy VII when it first came out. Now that was a check. Now imagine carrying the big monitor, the big desktop.
Yeah.
But it was worth it because, again, there was no computer that was that price. These are a lot of memories. So there's a ton of stories that I can give. But those are stories going back decades. You could say things have changed. But I was looking at my son the other day. He had a case for Astrobot on the PlayStation. This was a game that, I slept on it, but then it was on sale. The physical copy was on sale for $19. And I said, I'll get it now because, he finished every Mario game, which is physical.
Right.
He needed something else. And Astrobot seemed like it was a good choice. That game is phenomenal. It is one of his favorite games. I love watching him play it. And I saw him looking at the case the other day. He's looking at the pictures on the case. He's looking inside. He's looking at the disc. He's looking at all of these things that effectively they want to eliminate now with everything being digital. Sometimes I buy copies of games digital because I don't feel like changing the case out. I mean, the CD out or the drive out. Not because I don't like physical media, but because sometimes I'm like, look, I just want to hit play. I want to go. But I do have a lot of physical games as opposed to digital. I've never brought an additional hard drive for any of my consoles. I would rather buy a CD and delete things of that nature. I am not pre-ordering Grand Theft Auto 6 because first, I have not seen any gameplay that you can legitimately say this is real gameplay. There's so-called leaks, but who knows? I am not spending $100 on a game I have not seen any gameplay for. But I'm also annoyed they took forever to come out with it because I think they were milking Grand Theft Auto 5 online.
Yeah. Why rush it? You're making billions of dollars.
And so to me, it's like even just the cost of gaming. And again, I've been a PC gamer my whole life as well. And so I'm not going to pull out, PC cost, but the console cost is absurd. And to have digital games or digital movies where, again, they can take the licenses away anytime they want to, and they overcharge for these games online for no apparent reason. I just don't want to contribute to that right now. Whether or not I get GTA 6, do I want to get it? Yes. Am I very upset with how they did this? Absolutely. Is my one purchase going to make much of a difference? No. But I'm taking a stand for myself in terms of I am not pre-ordering it until you have to take care of the consumers more. You have to take care of gamers more. $100 for just something that's online that they can change at any time they want to. I can't support that. I'm sorry. I just can't. These are core memories, like you said, physical items, pictures. You're just looking at it. You're just laying on the couch looking at it. I remember looking at games. I remember looking at game guides inside. I remember the instructions and things of that nature with pictures. All of that is being taken away for what?
No.
Just to prove that I have $100 online and can buy a game? No, I don't need to prove that. So yeah, I'm just very frustrated with this whole digital, push right now.
Yeah, that's a good segue to our other discussion topic on the video games as far as moving from the physical media to digital only. Like I think PlayStation says in 2 years they'll no longer support physical but it won't sell, new video games after 2028 won't have any physical DVDs, CDs, or whatever you want to call them. They'll all be digital releases. So I remember the days of buying a game in the store and then you're in the back seat in the car, heading home, reading the instructions, flipping through, trying to remember all the button moves and stuff in the car as you're driving home because you're looking at the instructions or the guide anyway. Now it's just like, okay, they slowly went away from that. They still get the case, but it'll just be a code or a QR code. You just scan this to go to the website to see what the instructions are. Nowadays, they don't even have that. It's just they're pushing towards digital only, and there's no financial reward for it. So it's not like, okay, if you want the disc, you got to pay a little bit more because we got to print it out. We're not going to give you a disc, and we're going to increase the price. Thanks a lot, Nintendo, for offering your digital media for $80 standard.
Yeah,
That you need to be online to register it for. Now, once that happened, we knew other people were going to follow suit. And fresh out the gate is GTA 6 with the $80 or $100 game. And like Kareem said, that you don't own it because servers can go down or whatever have you. They can change some things up and you don't have it. Like they have removed over 200 digital movies off of Sony's library that you may have purchased it and legally you owned it, but they move it off the library. Now you don't have it and they don't give you a refund back. I'm guessing there's somewhere in their warranty or their small print saying that they can do whatever they want with their digital library. And it's at this point, you might as well start going to the thrift store, Best Buy or whatever, purchase those Blu-rays and upload them to your servers, upload them to your computer, stream them. Or just get a separate player, external player, so that way you can actually watch something and actually own it. You don't have to worry about it's moving off this streaming service. I know I don't have access to the show. I gotta get Apple Plus now because this other show used to be on Netflix and it's on Apple now. And in order for me to watch this, I gotta buy another $19 a month streaming service. It's not in this economy.
Not in this economy, not in the next economy. I'm not doing it. I am like when Nintendo did what made me realize I'm even before they're doing it, it's what Nintendo did. When Nintendo was like with the Switch 2 and then like we're gonna go with like the games being digital, I was like, no, I want my physical game because if at any point, like let's say like so for me this time I will eventually renew it, but like I didn't renew my Nintendo Online, right? So there's like now games I no longer have access to, and it's like I paid for those games, some of them. Yeah. Some of them I downloaded for free. The ones I downloaded for free, I don't feel so bad that I don't have access to anymore. But it's like I should not have to. I already bought your system. I've purchased my game. You want me to now say, well, no, we're not necessarily going to do that. Because what if we don't want to continue updating it? What about what happens when the studio goes bust because you're doing games not Nintendo, but like Sony, like everybody else, like they're doing it through smaller studios, and those studios go bust. Like, well, we don't want to give them any more money. So then those games, that library, gone. But for people who let's say people who've played World of Warcraft, right? That's a 20, almost 30-year game. Imagine if they decided tomorrow we are no longer doing it. How many people sunk hundreds and at this point sometimes thousands of dollars in that, and they would no longer have access to their game? Screw y'all, no. Like it's. And I know everyone online says, well, if owning isn't something, then piracy isn't illegal. Like you can't be mad if someone's like, yo, I'm gonna just pirate it. Not that I'm saying, hey, pirate your stuff. Because that would be wrong.
No. We would never champion pirating here at 305
piracy. No. But like if me buying it, and it's not just that, because it's like with books, with digital books, like if I purchase it and then you say, 2 years later, like, well, no, we're no longer doing that.
Yeah, the thing is, we're just buying the access to it. We're not buying the actual game. We're just buying the we give them the money to move the velvet rope so that let us get into the club. We don't we have no ownership of anything in the club. You want to come inside and take a look. That's what you can do. You don't like it, you can be on the other side of the rope.
And to me, that makes no sense because for some of these prices of the games, I'm looking at you, Nintendo. Like you want me to pay you $80? Yes, like are you out your mind? Like I will never, like ever, and I will go back. Like I will rock my Nintendo Switch until the wheels fall off, until they stop making like things that I can do to like the controllers and stuff. But I'm not buying another system because that system will not allow me to use physical media. Screw y'all. Like there's a point to having something physical. It is yours. It is my tangible thing. And on top of it, when it comes to like other video games, you get these really cool things with it. Like South of Midnight. I want them to eventually make that a physical game, because like the stuff that came out for the people that like the original Kickstarter versions, all the things that they came with it were like they look amazing. Like there was a CD, a vinyl record. There were things like that. Those are things that you did with certain stuff. If it's all digital, there's no need for creativity. There's no need for that, because you're just, hey, here's this slop. We'll give it to you. Play with. We don't care. There's no need. There's no investment in that ongoing relationship. There's no tangible thing. Like, and then what happens to the stores? Like,
this is another nail in GameStop's coffin.
Yeah, because it's like,
because that's one less thing that they. I mean, if PlayStation continues on the thought process of we're not going to sell physical media, let's say it's decided to sell you the case with just a QR code in it. That's less items on GameStop shelf. So they're really going to have to continue pushing towards Funko Pop, collectibles, trading cards like Pokemon, things like that they can, or things, accessories that get people into the store to purchase. But they find Amazon, they find Walmart, they find any of these things. I mean, this is, it's going to be like Funko Land. Remember those things back in the days of Funko Land, KB Toys R Us? GameStop is going to go, or Software, etc., Electronics Boutique. These are going to be, these are the predecessors of, or the ancestors of GameStop. GameStop about, their writings on the wall. They saw that, then they're punching the air right now.
No, I think it's also short-sighted in terms of just profit making, and that's people. So it's basically saying unless you already have access to this, you won't know what exists. You can go by a GameStop and say, hey, what's in here? And then you can see games that you would have never seen anywhere else and say, hey, maybe I'll try this. Or even see a system and say, hey, I'll try this. When I had my, I think it was the Xbox 360, I saw an old copy of Mass Effect. It was like the whatever they used to have, like the greatest hits, where it was all on sale once it to a certain point. And the game was out for a few years then. But it was all I had then. I got the game, it was $19.99, and then I became obsessed with the series from that alone. If I didn't see it in the store, a physical copy that was on sale, I would not have gotten it. So now imagine not having a console. You're not going to have an online store that you're going to have access to. So you're not even going to know what they're selling on the online store. But then if they're going to be doing this dynamic pricing or overcharging, that Mass Effect game would have still been $59.99, even though it came out 3 years prior. Nobody's going to buy a game that where you're talking about everything is cutting edge. You need the cutting edge. That's 3-4 years old, where the graphics look outdated, unless it's a game where those graphics don't really matter. So it's like they're going to be cutting out a large consumer base just from that short-sightedness alone. I'm sorry, I would not have bought an Astrobot at $59. Even now, after playing it, I would not buy it at $59. Yeah. Do I think it was worth it for some people? Yes, I think it's that quality of a game, but I would not have gotten it. And now I have Astrobot toys. I had to get, I have the soundtrack on my phone so that my son can hear it. It opens you up to more. And that's the part of it, the physical items that are getting ignored, and I think taking gamers for granted. It is a hobby, whether people like it or not. It is a hobby. There's a lot of things that you could do besides gaming, where they buy collectibles. I'm a Knicks fan. I see how much they charge for these items. There's no difference in my mind. Paying $1,000 for a photo op with a basketball player is not much different than paying $100 for a photo op with somebody who was in a show that you like. So it's the disrespect towards gaming as a hobby has to stop. And I don't mean just in terms of the amount of money gamers can spend, but just enjoying it as a hobby overall, where it's not always competitive. It's items that I have in the back of my room here, items I have downstairs, items that I used to have that I may no longer have. And this whole push for more money, digital components being outpriced, it's absurd.
Oh yeah. And they don't even get it, because like if you don't have the physical media on that part. Like if it's just digital, you know what that means also for people that are regular gamers. You have no desire to buy if they may decide, okay, well, we're gonna have a shirt that goes with it. We're gonna have merchandising that goes with it. You're now, because you just want to do digital, you cut off the merchandise aspect. And yes, the digital aspect will make money, but most of y'all are making a lot more of your money from the extra stuff. It's from the
microtransactions and stuff.
Yeah.
Not just even the microtransactions. I'm talking about like those little Nintendo has them. The little amiibo things.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Like little figures that come with these things. Like I will say with Fallout, like I'm looking at a bunch of the little Fallout toys up here by me. When you just go digital with some of this stuff, as you go more and more digital, why would someone want to buy these things? Because they're not going to, and it's like it's not the same. It's not going to be the same feeling. And as weird as it's going to sound, younger people are not going to want to just keep endlessly buying with no real return.
Something physical to support it. Yeah, and then I think that's the detriment. I think, and maybe that's the way they're pushing for the PS6 whenever that comes out, is that it'll probably be a discless option, because if it doesn't make sense to buy one that has a DVD drive or Blu-ray drive, if all the games after a certain point are not going to have discs for it. Like if I'm getting a new system, I might as well just get the one that doesn't come with a reader in it, because all my games are digital. Like I'm trying to think the last time I purchased a physical media game, and usually the physical media games usually were cheaper after you wait a while. Like go in GameStop or go someplace, you see it used, and it's much cheaper than you go onto the PlayStation store, or you go to Xbox 360 store online. The digital version still has it at the same, fresh out the box retail, $49, $69, $99 or whatever the price is. Like this game been out for a year and the price hasn't dropped. So I'll just wait until Black Friday, that's usually when I do my most purchases on the Sony consoles. Black Friday, when they drop prices for a lot of stuff. And then I'll pick it up for $10, $15, $20 off. I may not play it right away. Like I just finished Midnight Suns a few months ago, but I had purchased that game, I think, in November of last year. Like I'll purchase a bunch of games and then I'll just have them on my hard drive, and I won't get to them. Like I haven't even played Ghost of Yotai yet. I haven't even seen the startup screen. Like I haven't even, like my son's played it, finished it 2 or 3 times already, did the multiplayer, all that stuff. I haven't even pressed start on the game, but I purchased it months ago. Like I'll get to it when I get to it. So for me to feverishly buy a digital pre-order is for what? Because to consider my hard drive and not do anything. It's like I don't play games right away. So I mean, I'll make that exception for Wolverine when it comes out. I'll get that when it comes out, but I don't need to pre-order it. There's no rush for me to get it right now, as opposed to it comes out Tuesday. I'll get it Tuesday. I'll get it the morning of Tuesday. I'll log on during Fat Jump, download it while and go back to sleep. They need to really make it worthwhile for the gamers and the consumers to say, why do we want to pre-order it now? Other than us, because they could have opened up pre-orders last year. Honestly, what changed between last year and this year, as opposed to the consumers, from our standpoint, from the buyer standpoint? Nothing. We were told we were going to get. Yeah, we were supposed to get the game last year. They said no, we're going to wait a whole nother year. They could have opened up the pre-orders last year, but I mean, they already made $3 billion or $5 billion in 2 days from the pre-orders. So they made their money back.
Yeah.
I think it's just to try to push for the higher price point, and I think that's pretty much what it is. Where it's trying to create a new standard with a higher price point. Mm-hmm. It's trying to create a bigger gap between the so-called normal edition versus a high edition version, because there's no reason for it. They made their money a million times over with Grand Theft Auto 5, and you start realizing how much you're lacking in this console generation, mm-hmm. and then we end up with this with no gameplay.
Yeah. We'll see we'll continue to monitor the gaming industry to see where they're going to go forward with this. I know Xbox is working on rebranding themselves, but right now it's just I'm just waiting for Wolverine to come out. I'm not in a rush to play Grand Theft. I definitely will be playing it, but I think they said that the day it comes out, the online capabilities won't even be available. Like you won't be able to go online. I can play with Kareem and we going around Vice City just running amok. So like you get it the first day out and it's not even 100% available yet.
Will you even be able to download it?
No, let's be honest. That thing is going to crash. Their servers are going to crash.
Yeah,
you guys those people are going to be buying. Like you're going to have potentially. And
that's also if they are allowed to play online. Like if it's all just offline play, as far as you're not being able to interact with one another, they may not crash, but it's like you're paying full price and you're not getting the full game right off the bat. It's almost like when you purchase a game and you put it in, you got to wait another 20 minutes for it to download the updates. Like, we didn't have this problem 10, 20 years ago. No, Halo come out, Mass Effect come out. No, Tomb Raider comes out. We didn't have to, okay, well, we got to get a patch update. Sit here and wait for it to download. No, it's throw it in, go. Now it's like throw it in. Okay, I got a 5 gig update. You got to sit here. Let me just go to the kitchen, get a drink, get something else. Got to wait a while. Okay, now it's ready. Oh, by the way, the online is not available till December.
Exactly.
Huh?
Yeah.
Make it make sense. But we're gonna end on one of those notes. We're your host, K. Kareem Hanif. Have a good one.